the user themselves, but like I just wrote what sounded poetic. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Audio check. Can you guys hear me? Stream across. We have an incredibly small audience today, so I guess it doesn't matter. Thank you, Abolito. Did you understand what I said before? Did the three things I said at the beginning of this show actually go through? No, they did not go through. Okay, did not hear me? Okay, but you guys can all hear me now? Audio is working? Well, fantastic. Anyways, what I said before is that this is a very serious episode of the PYRESWAP show. And the reason it's serious is because serious investment vehicles can only be built by people who are serious about making them work. And serious solutions can only be discovered by people who are serious about researching problems. And serious pain will continue to be felt by all of crypto if we don't implement a system that teaches people serious fundamental analysis. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, CJ. Yeah. Yeah, we dimmed it. You ever see that movie Only God Forgives, CJ? Where it's Ryan Gosling, but somehow he's like in Asia in like a martial arts dojo or some shit. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I was comparing it to that. Yeah. You ever hit? I mean, arguably, I would say it's probably not even in his top 10 movies, but it's one of those. It's like a neon noir movie where like everything's at night and there's just neon signs everywhere. You know, that type of aesthetic. You know, it's like martial arts. You know, very one-dimensional characters, and just kind of like a general conflict. Yep. Anyways, as we continue on this stretch of writing and finishing LearnPyreswap.com, yeah, I figured I'm just making an appearance today. So we're 5 minutes in. That was really the entire commentary I had. I don't have anything else rehearsed. Today is Wisdom Wednesday. Arguably, I feel like those three messages did it. But the good news is that we have a plan. We have a plan. Are you guys aware of the plan? I think tomorrow on the PYRESWAP show, I will in fact reveal the plan. Actually, the plan is really meant more for the people learning about the project the first time, but it'll be beneficial for you guys too. Yeah. Abolito, we have a plan. Yeah. Would you like to know the plan? Actually, I do realize that being clear about the plan is a big value add. So yeah, Abolito, I will in fact do that now. Okay. So I'm going to go get the plan ready to even reveal it tomorrow during the PYRESWAP show. And I will explain the plan. And I want to be clear, this is the plan that we start off with describing the problem of not knowing investment analysis, because that's not really understood in crypto at all, right? And it's from not knowing that, let's put it this way. We actually have a master plan that consists of 3 plans. How do I describe this? Let me use a better marker. I'm going to describe the plan, okay? I don't have the entire thing written out with perfect succinctness yet, but it works like this. There's a master plan, and this master plan is really for the sake of marketing, but I want you to understand it is a clear plan that is about solving your guys' problems, okay? Master plan, which is also solving the project's problems. You get what I'm saying? The master plan, okay, we're going to change the lights a little bit, make it more legible. And I'm not going to do too much on here anyway. The master plan consists of 3 sub-plans. The first one is the preparation plan. The second one is education. And the third one is implementation. 'Cause And believe it or not, these three steps are actually sub-plans that also have 3 steps. So believe it or not, our entire value add is going to be described in like, it's not 9 steps, it's 3 plans of 3 steps. Believe it or not, what I've learned in the last, I guess, month or so, this has been another parallel between storytelling and marketing, is that you can't ever expect people to understand instructions past 6 steps. So every set of instructions is 3 to 6 steps. And if you have more steps, you need to create sub-plans. So the actual theory behind this is, even if you have a business model that's super complicated and requires people to do 50 fucking things, you still just break it down into 10 plans of 5 steps. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Because everybody can digest a 3 to 6 step plan. When will all start the plan? Soon? I believe the plan is for you. Yeah, but like, again, learnpyreswap.com is what it takes. Yeah, so like the user is what does the plan. But yeah, Abolito, I've had a plan since December. Yeah, since how to tell when to sell, right? Learnpyreswap.com has been that plan. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I can describe it like this for you if you'd like. LearnPyreswap.com is about marketing the project in a way that solves people's problems, solves people's pain points. This is the most powerful style of marketing, and we have a monopoly here, arguably, right? This involves, again, going on YouTube interviews and then, in fact, promoting LearnPyreswap.com. Now, why would we promote LearnPyreswap.com? I'm going to give you an allegory. Are you guys ready for an allegory? Are you guys ready for an allegory? New York City. All right. Who here has heard of New York City before? Has anybody here heard of New York City? Yes. Okay. Abolito. Okay. I was hoping so. I was hoping everyone would know, considering it's one of the most economically important cities in the whole world. Yeah. Anyways, so consider this, Abolito. Imagine if, first of all, millions of people live in New York City, and then also millions of people visit there as tourists every year. Does that make sense, everybody? Right? Millions of residents, millions of tourists. Does that make sense? Oh man, I just goofed. Okay. Anyways. Now, Abolito, when people visit New York City as a tourist, why do you think they visit? Why do you think people visit New York City as a tourist? As a tourist, yeah, but why? What are they there to see? Yeah, location, event. Yeah. Do you know of any, like, some people know New York City to the point that people should even know a few landmarks inside New York City. I don't know if it's that one. Yeah. I don't know if that's the one. Yeah, I would say it has more to do with the Empire State Building and Times Square and Central Park and the Statue of Liberty and the fucking museums, right? You guys know about the museums, right? Do you guys know about the museums? There you go. Anyways, imagine this, if you could. Imagine if somebody told you to visit New York City but didn't give you any of that information. So you didn't know about the landmarks. So you didn't know what the Statue of Liberty was. You didn't know what Times Square was. You didn't know what Central Park was. You didn't know what the museums are. Does that make sense? You don't know about these things. You also don't know any of New York City's history. So you don't know about any story that went there, any movie that took place there. You do not know shit about New York City. And imagine they teleported you into the middle of New York City. In fact, they teleported you into Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Okay? Actually, Williamsburg is probably too nice. They just teleported you onto the street in New York City. Okay? They just teleported you there. And suddenly, you're surrounded by gridlock traffic. Everyone's fucking rude. The whole place smells like piss. Everything's expensive, right? And it's all just like damp concrete, right? Damp concrete, smells like urine. Everybody's rude, gridlock traffic, and everything's expensive. Now, would you guys say that from the instance of being immersed into New York City, this sounds like a terrible experience, right? Like everything you're going to notice about this is going to be, yeah, Abuelito, I don't doubt that. But to be honest, like again, I'm describing being teleported to a location. Okay? And the reason being is all of our users are human at the end. And when humans think about locations, they learn about a location before they fucking go there. Does that make sense? Humans are physical creatures, but websites are digital locations. Does that make sense? But the way the human mind is designed is that to go to a place, you have to go on a physical journey there. Does everyone understand that? You can't teleport. Now, on the internet, all URLs are locations, and they're basically equidistant from each other. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Like every website is just another place that your computer can go to instantly. Are you guys following me? The point being is, when we market PYRESWAP directly, we're teleporting people into New York City and not explaining to them what the fuck it is. Do you understand what I mean, Seabiscuit? You get what I'm saying? Like you're just getting teleported there and it's like, hey, this smells like piss, right? It's fucking confusing, it's loud, it's expensive, and I don't know what's going on. Now, I'm not trying to bash the incantation of Witchfall. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not trying to bash my own fucking design and or invention. But the fact of the matter is what makes the same place a pleasant experience versus an unpleasant one is pre-framing. Pre-framing. Does that make sense? Because Seabiscuit, if I told you like, hey, you can go check out the Statue of Liberty, which was literally a gift made by the people of France and originally made in copper, then it was shipped across the Atlantic in several pieces and then rebuilt on a fucking island, and you can actually go inside it. And there's a lady with a torch, and she's like, how tall is it? Like 10 stories? Yeah, it's like 10 stories fucking tall, right? And like, that's interesting. Does that make sense? Especially if you see a picture of it, especially if you see a panoramic video of the fucking thing taken by helicopter, right? But like, if you were to just go to the fucking New York City, and then of course it's a tourist trap, so guess what? There's like 700 people in line, right? Am I right? Yeah, so there's 700 people in line. It's going to be raining and then windy, and you got to take a fucking ferry to go there, and there's also going to be windy, right? Yeah, okay. Does that make sense? So there's so much. If you didn't know you're going to the Statue of Liberty, would you ever just like be teleported to a fucking ferry in New York City? It's like, no, because like the destination is what makes the ferry ride worth it. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you guys get what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is Seabiscuit, learnpyreswap.com is like a brochure. It's in fact a series of videos about PYRESWAP. In fact, it's not even about PYRESWAP as much as it is about the concepts of PYRESWAP. But the point being is that learnpyreswap.com gives people the necessary pre-framing so that when they actually end up on PYRESWAP, they understand and appreciate it. Does that make sense to you guys? Because every single thing we've done wrong is just like dump people into the middle of the website and then like hope they figure it out, right? I gave like, you know, a goddamn PhD level set of documentation, right? And naturally like 10% of the people read it and then maybe 1% of people understood it. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It was like the, what I know about marketing now is, has allowed me to identify the dozens and dozens of errors I made in 2024. Does that make sense? So the plan is, Abuelito, learnpyreswap.com gives people the necessary pre-framing in order to market PYRESWAP, right? So I'm not in the business of marketing PYRESWAP anymore. I'm in the business of marketing learnpyreswap.com, and learnpyreswap.com is what markets PYRESWAP. Does that make sense? Is that a plan? Do you guys understand? Driving people directly into PYRESWAP is not giving them the necessary pre-framing. Yeah, thank you, Abolito. Yes, I believe we will as well. I believe we will as well. Every day we make leaps and bounds. And you can ask, let me see who's in the audience today. Okay, Dr. Mac and Trigger Happy, possibly. So you can ask Dr. Mac and Trigger Happy, because I did a screen share demo today during the Sunny Ridge Circus Roundtable, and I described and I showed diagrams of the theoretics behind this strategy and this plan. Because learnpyreswap.com is not just a whim, it has a blueprint. Does that make sense? Everything we did for marketing in 2024 was like whim-based. Like, let's try this, and let's try that, and let's try this, and maybe this will work. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And that's an absolute amateur way of doing anything. So learnpyreswap.com has a blueprint behind it. And I want you guys to understand, an idea that comes from a blueprint is going to be way more successful than an idea that comes off of a hands-in-the-pockets conversation. Do you guys understand that contrast? An idea from a blueprint versus an idea with hands in the pockets. Do you guys understand that allegory? Okay, Maddie, I appreciate that you do, and I continue to salute you for your efforts in the coven, by the way. You are an exemplary and consistent leader. And by the way, Maddie, I want you to know, you might understand this game better than a lot of people, but I have still underserved you in your ability to actually be the channeler. Because like I realize that more and more of my job is being a clear educator. I thought that the PYRESWAP show would actually do this job, but I realized I'm not teaching stuff in sequence on this show. It's like random Q&A, and then like it just ends up being archived in YouTube. So even our educational material, it's hard to navigate for somebody showing up for the first time. So this, like I really did not think about this. I thought like, oh, they'll find it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just that I wasn't thinking about all of those small details about that part of the journey. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Here's a good example. Here's a good example of something. But I'll tell you this is a good example of retention versus awareness, okay? And it's a good example of like having a raving fan base even though your shit's complicated. Does that make sense? What I mean to say is complicated shit can have a raving fan base. Do you guys want proof? Does anybody want proof? Complicated shit can have a raving fan base, but it all depends on how a newbie is introduced to it. Now, first of all, I can describe Pokemon. Does that make sense? Because when somebody is introduced to Pokemon, they get one of three and then they go on a journey. And every journey, like every region is like, it has a fucking element. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So like everything is like, okay, and then it's this, and then it's this. So every element is a new concept that bridges on what they learned before. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Everybody's, I think that most people who I'm listening to remember the Pokemon Game Boy games and what they are now, right? Do you guys remember that? Right? Like you get here, you make a decision, then you go here, and the path is straight. Even though there's sometimes mazes, with Pokemon, progress is like straight. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So because it's straight, people learn as they go. But I never gave people that experience. Like pick one of these and then go, right? Number two, by the way, that's for newbies, right? So it's very child friendly. I'm going to give you an example of something that's semi-fantasy fiction, semi-science fiction, but has an incredibly devout fan base. But if you were to figure out how to get involved, you wouldn't fucking know. Do you guys know what fan base I'm talking about? I'll explain. It's called Warhammer 40K. Who here has heard of this particular fiction brand? Mr. Producer? Are you familiar with this? Yeah. Okay. There you go. See, even Maddie, that explains that why you like PYRESWAP, I think. Yeah, if you even know that thing. But guess what, Maddie? If you like glance at Warhammer 40K, it's like that all looks so interesting, but like where the fuck do you start? Do you know what I mean? Like where do you actually start? It's like, okay, there's 18 factions. Let's see, the Emperor is God. He's got 9 sons that are also immortal, and they rebel against them. And it's like, what the yeah. Oh yeah, but you get it. Oh, you get it. But because it's like, it's so big, where do you start? So Warhammer is what they consider like a gatekeeping fan base. Do you guys know what I mean? And it's not meant to be gatekeeping. It's just not really fucking clear about like what does day one of Warhammer 40K. See again, yeah. CJ, and again, some people don't even know their figures. Some people don't even know about the figurines. You get what I'm saying? Because it's all like, it's all movies and fucking, there's a video game that just came out actually. Yeah, there's a video game that just came out. I haven't played it, but I'm like, Warhammer 40K, like you can always recognize it because it's just a very interesting, what appears to be a very interesting plot. But like, as far as wrapping my head around it, I can't fucking tell the difference. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you hear somebody talk about it, CJ, they're like, oh yeah, these people are like this and they're heretics and fuck those people. And if you talk to Warhammer 40K, they're very opinionated about like this fictional political sect, you know, and like who they are in the militaristic, you know, sphere of influence. And it's like, I can't figure out like, you know what I mean? Like what? I have no frame of reference for that at all. It's like, well, all you need to know is that they're heretics, dude. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have, you know what I mean? I don't have like a fucking, I don't have a welcome mat to figure out where the front door is here. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, oh, well, fuck them. Don't worry about them. You need to worry that these are the good guys. And I'm like, why are they the good guys, right? Because you got like 19 factions. Anyways, yeah. But the point being is, let's put it this way. I think Warhammer 40K was like the spin-off of Warhammer, which was actually just fantasy fiction. Do you guys know what I mean? Anyways, but the 40K lore, I guess, just makes people so much more invested, whether it's because it's more militaristic or I don't fucking know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is that who built the game? Like, I haven't even played the game. I think I played one of the mobile games maybe 10 years ago. Oh, Dark Souls. Yeah, Pirate Producer would agree with you, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, Pirate Producer likes this project because it reminded him of the aesthetics of Dark Souls, at least a few months ago, did. Games Workshop. Yeah, I didn't know that. But anyways. By the way, believe it or not, as we go into storytelling more, so do you guys know PYRESWAP.com, like the main landing page right now? Believe it or not, I made a lot of mistakes with PYRESWAP.com as the landing page because what I was doing is I was going to a whole bunch of other dApps and I was saying, they have this, they have that, they have this, they have that. Let's have all of that and more and just dump it on our landing page. Does that make sense? And by the way, that still doesn't give people the linear journey of Pokemon. Do you guys get what I'm saying? People need a linear Pokemon style journey. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Because I'm showing them so many benefits, so many features, so many things. It's like I'm still overwhelmed and I have no idea what, you know, it's like it's still confusion. It's still a confusion bomb, right? Anyways. Yeah, exactly, Maddie. So the point being is, there is a point where you can give people their own freedom to explore, but they need to have like a certain amount of like linear entrances. Does that make sense? Right? You got to hold their hand first as children before you let them go out into the world. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Well, CJ, in this case, I am the artist. I mean, unless, yeah, okay. But yeah. But it is. But CJ, before I was fucking Jackson Pollock over here. You get what I'm saying? Nobody knew what the fuck I was painting. Yeah. Learning PYRESWAP is just like tracing MC Escher's staircase. You know what I mean? It's easy, dude. What are you talking about? It's all right there. Right? Okay. Anyways, Okay, so PYRESWAP.com, and by the way, this is not LearnPYRESWAP.com, but I'm talking about PYRESWAP.com. PYRESWAP.com, first of all, we have 7 images that rotate. Are you guys aware? Well, guess what? Those images should all be like aspirational positive images. Does that make sense? So we had like a witch getting burned on an altar. We had a gigantic fucking spider, right? We have some spooky guy in the woods. We have a bunch of cultists summoning a demon, right? There's a bunch of stuff there that doesn't exactly, how should I describe it? It doesn't convey something that would be desired by a user. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so this is like a, like a missed opportunity. So first of all of the images later on will get changed with ones that are more aspirational, that depict victory and glory and riches. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like positive outcomes. Does that make sense? So the more of the images will, the wizard reading the book is good. So I think I'm going to keep the wizard with the book. I think everybody likes the wizard with the book because it's just like a blue one. You know what I mean? So the wizard with the book will stay. I think the other ones that aren't, they're meant to be like curiosity peakers, kind of, but like they should be more aspirational. But then also we have the images where you scroll down, right? Do you guys know? Like the ones where you peek through? You guys know what I'm talking about? Anyways, in the future, they will actually tell a story. So they will actually be a narrative. So they'll have like a common protagonist, and as you go down the page, this person will have like a small story arc. Does that make sense? If it's like, you know, if it's 7 pictures, we'll make each picture that idea to a story arc. You guys get what I'm saying? And therefore, that kind of helps connect. You guys get what I'm fucking saying, right? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? I see you nodding over there. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So, like, on top of that, we have so much info blasting on PYRESWAP.com. We would just simplify it around the main problems we want people to learn first, which is, again, investment analysis. Do you guys get what I'm fucking saying? I've been beating this drum for like 6 weeks, so I appreciate you guys are with me on the journey. And we are, in fact, going to make it. Yeah. Everything about this has always taken longer than I expected, but yeah, we do always make it happen. Is that not true? If I have any points, it's that even though we're always delayed, we always do hit the fucking target. Am I wrong? Am I wrong though? Okay. Anyways, the fact that we're delayed, or the fact that we feel delayed, I think helps build the suspense in our own storyline. I know that might be stressful for you guys, but we are going to make it. Anyways. Do you guys have any questions? I feel like I planned to do like a 5-minute show, but I'm glad we kind of went in this direction. I think this was clear and valuable. Any questions? Any. All right. I would like to thank you guys for coming to the PYRESWAP show. Have a great rest of your day.